We're gonna go see our boat. We haven't even put anything on this boat yet except for cleaning supplies and tools. We concluded the previous episode by sharing that we had signed a contract on the sailboat in Massachusetts and wired in our deposit. Yep, he just sent us the contract. It's already signed by the seller with our number on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's amazing.
there's some work that has to be done, but
Of course, now it's getting late in the season for being up north, so we're not going to have very much time to do anything on the boat before we just get it in the water and start heading back to Florida. So it's all going to have to happen really quickly.
yeah, we're
now
scrambling
we have to figure
around.
out what we're going to do, how we're going to get up there and get this survey done and get the boat back down here, and what we're going to do with the apartment in the meantime.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of things to figure out in the next couple days.
So
We decided, since we weren't sure how long it would take to return to Florida on the sailboat, that we would end our lease and move out of our apartment before heading to Massachusetts. That meant organizing a huge weekend yard sale on super short notice. We're having a big yard sale this weekend and getting rid of all of our furniture and everything because we will not need it on a sailboat. So there goes another piece of furniture.
what have we been doing all this time
goodness.
this weekend?
Well, this is Sunday night, and this entire weekend we've been doing a huge yard sale in our apartment. And we've sold every piece of furniture and all kinds of other things
And
that we can't take with us on a boat.
in literally 2 days' time.
Yeah, we emptied this apartment. Now we just have a few things to pack up that are going to the boat, and a few things that are going to stay in a storage unit.
So, what do we have left from our yard sale?
Well, we have a couple kitchen tools and utensils and pans, a clock, some baskets and trays, little decorations that we just aren't going to have room for on a boat and we won't need. We're going to donate that to a thrift store tomorrow while we're running around finishing last minute things.
So I guess this will probably be our last night here.
Yeah.
We don't even have a bed to sleep on. What are we going to do?
I camp out on the floor.
It's time to move on. We got bigger things to do. This is Socks. He's our resident cat. And he comes up and he gets his little treats and dinner and breakfast in the morning. And it's sad that we can't take him with us because he just is too shy to let us pet him, and we've been working with him for about 8 months, and I still can't get him to come in. I guess some resident here left him years ago, and he doesn't quite trust people. And but we have another neighbor that's going to take over, giving him treats and feeding them. And
Yes, this is our last day before we have to take off to Massachusetts to get the boat. We're running around trying to get all kinds of stuff done. We still have to clean our apartment so we can turn in the keys. And we just spent 45 minutes standing in line to do early voting because we wanted to make sure and vote before we left. So, so we're getting it done, but it's a stressful day.
yeah, and I had some thoughts about this whole process. there's a lot of things that can get in the way. Curveballs thrown at you, and lots of unknowns that you're having to get over. You've got people that may know what you're doing that are very supportive, and then you have people that are like, doubtful and a little hesitant or negative that could kind of, if you let it, tear down your motivation. But you just kind of keep pushing through, and that's what we've had to do. I'm usually the optimist, and Melissa sometimes is the pessimist. Just staying focused and positive, and be planning ahead. I mean, you're focused on your plan A, but in the back of your head, you've got a plan B and a plan C, just in case.
Plan D, E, F, G.
Well, and there's things that your expectations will say inside of your head, oh, I could do it in this particular time frame. And sometimes you really have to plan for like 2 times that, and maybe even 3 times that, because just things get in the way. And when all seems chaotic, but you're clicking one box off after the other, it ends up getting all done at the end of the day. So, and we're doing it. Sometimes it's taking a lot longer than we expected, but in the end, we're getting it done and sewing up all of our loose ends behind us, and that's it. Hopefully one day we'll be sitting on the water and go, wow, look at us. We actually are here. We did it. We got through. We got it done. So.
After doing a final cleaning of our apartment and returning the keys, we rented a small U-Haul trailer and pulled it to our storage unit to pack the items we'd need for working and living on our sailboat. We didn't want to bring our Jeep to Massachusetts since we're planning to use it when we return to Florida and haul out our boat for some work. However, renting a small moving truck was very pricey in our city. So we rented the trailer and hauled it to the Orlando area, where we stopped to have dinner with our son and picked up a small U-Haul moving truck at a much better rate. After spending the night in a hotel, we moved everything from the trailer to the truck and returned the trailer to U-Haul. We stashed the Jeep on our son's driveway and then hit the interstate heading north. As we drove, I read aloud the Family Afloat book that we had received from the boat broker we met in Annapolis in July. The story helped to feed our excitement about the cruising lifestyle as we made our way toward our sailboat. Late in the day, we grabbed dinner at Buc-ee's in Florence, South Carolina, and pressed on in the dark. After a short stop for a few hours of sleep in North Carolina, we continued our journey. As we wound our way over hills and through beautiful wooded areas between cities, the fall foliage became more and more brilliant, and our excitement to arrive at the boatyard grew with every passing mile. With a long day of driving behind us, we arrived at a hotel in New Hampshire, just across the Massachusetts state line from the boatyard. We found a place to get a sandwich and went to bed exhausted from our 1,400-mile trip, eager to arrive at the boatyard early the next morning. Good morning. We're in this adorable little cafe in Newburyport, Massachusetts, and we just spent 2.5 days driving here with a truck full of stuff, and it's cold. But we're gonna have some breakfast in this cute little place, and we're gonna go see our boat.
Walking distance.
Yeah. Now we just need to find a place to stay while we're working on the boat. So this town is really cute. Like,
It's kind of like Annapolis.
historical.
It's
Pretty cool.
in a way, it's like a historic town like that. Sound like
We're excited to spend a little bit of time here, but more excited about the boat, and we hope it gets a little warmer because it's too cold for Florida people like us.
Good morning. We just came up here. Here's our little moving truck. And the boat is currently named Windward Passage, so we'll keep that until we have a ceremony of rechristening it and changing the name. So we're pretty excited. We got to find a ladder and where to go get supplies. We're going to be cleaning the boat, and in about 3 days we're going to do all these intense inspections with having a certified rigger. He's going to come in and do a rigging inspection and survey, and then at the same time the hull surveyor is going to come in and do a thorough survey. We're going to be spending time cleaning it up until then. And the truck has got pretty much everything we own. No, it's everything that's going on the boat. Yeah. And I'm going to do oil samples on the engine and the generator, and try to get batteries. The batteries are dead, and so we've got house batteries that may or may not work, and a engine cranking battery that we're going to have to probably replace. And we're going to do all the other upgrades later, the lithium batteries for the house batteries and stuff like solar panels and stuff later. But right now we're just trying to hurry up and get it together so we can get it down to Florida
where it's warmer.
This is a Marlowe Hunter 50-foot, and this has the shoal draft, so it's 5.5 feet. It's got a really heavy keel weight, and the total vessel weight is about 32,000 pounds. It's actually got the same interior profile as Delos, with the length at the waterline, so the space inside, except for this one's like an owner's version, so it has a large aft stateroom and a large stateroom in forward area. It's not a V-berth, it's an Island Queen, and Melissa will be showing those to you later. The thing that is really amazing is this keel. And this keel was designed specifically by some engineers over in Europe. Hunter Marlowe, they had this designed, and it has a very large wingspan. So that wing is actually very similar to Delos. It's just about maybe a foot shorter than Delos, the whole keel length. So again, the draft is 5.5 feet, and but there's a lot of hardened lead in that. And so with the offset of the wings, that will compensate for a deeper keel. And so this is something that we can take into the Bahamas or the Virgin Islands and some of the shallow anchorages, as opposed to having a deep keel for blue water cruising. But it is designed to be a true blue water cruiser. This bow is designed by Glenn Henderson. He is a designer engineer. So if you come over here and look at the bow, come all the way here. The bow actually, it kind of goes in, and then when it flares out, instead of starting here and flaring out, it goes in and flares out. And it's called a hollow bow. And so that allows the leading edge of the boat to split the water and part the waves to the side, and it'll just like slice through them, as opposed to bouncing the bow of the boat up and down over the waves. So it's going to be a smoother riding vessel. And also, if you notice how wide the rings are down on the keel, that helps to hold the vessel down so it will penetrate the waves and slice through instead of bouncing over them. And the other thing is they've wrapped the whole forward and the bottom part of the keel with Kevlar, and they've got multiple layers of Kevlar. And I actually talked to Glenn Henderson, and he said the first run of this boat that they built to test was in 2009, and they rammed it into a sandbar at full speed. And this model has 110 horsepower Yanmar, which it would have come with a 75 horse, but they wanted to add the bigger engine to make. I mean, this is what they call their queen vessel, and so they wanted to make it very fast. And so they would take that either under sail or under power, and as fast as they could get the boat going at top hull speed. They rammed the sandbar, which he said was deep water, and it came straight up, and they just plowed right into it. And they did it about, he said they did it the first time 8 times, and the second time they did it 12 times. They wanted to try to break the boat, and he said that they pulled the boat and they analyzed it and they x-rayed the bottom, and they found that there was literally no cracks at all, no spider cracking, no stress cracking, and that's even down into the interior of the laminate layers of fiberglass that they had in there. And it is a cord material. It's not solid. It's not solid fiberglass all the way through. It's very heavy layered with Kevlar down on the keel side, and then up it's got a biaxial and a triaxial weave, and that's made with vinyl ester resin, so it's really strong. But then they core it, and then they build on top of that, and so that helps to lighten the boat a little bit. It does have a, see here, it's got a nice feature, bow thruster, and that will help get this beast parked exactly where we need it to go in the marinas. And other than that, she's in really good shape. She has low hours, about 1,100 hours on the engine. And an old guy had it, an old sailor, and he took real good care of it. And he's passed away, and we're picking her up, and we're gonna bring her to her former glory and take off to destinations unknown.
This is our second day on the boat. Yesterday we just started trying to make lists and figure out all the stuff that we need to do here, and today we're just starting to work on taking all the stuff out so that we can clean everything, trying to decide what things we need to keep and what we're going to get rid of. And there's some projects that Ted is working on, trying to figure out what's going on with the batteries and how he's going to get batteries to replace so that we can crank the thing up. And it looks like a bomb blew up in here. We haven't even put anything on this boat yet except for cleaning supplies. And tools. All this stuff is what was being stored on the boat. As you can see, we have our work cut out for us. The list of crucial projects is growing by the day. Meanwhile, I don't know if you can see this, but behind me there's snow falling on top of the Bimini. Will we finish all these essential repairs and get our boat in the water before everything freezes?